There are places built for peace, parks where families laugh, where children chase bubbles in the wind, where people walk their dogs beneath soft golden sunlight, where life feels simple and safe. But even the safest places can hold something else, something ancient, something quiet, something that waits for the sun to go down before revealing what truly hides between the branches. Tonight, we're stepping into that hidden world, moving through the shadows of 3 very scary true park horror stories. These stories will shake you, grip you, crawl under your skin. Yet somehow, through all their darkness, they will leave you with something unexpectedly powerful, because in every terror, there is always a truth. In every nightmare, there is always a lesson. And sometimes the scariest moments become the ones that teach us how blazing and unbreakable the human spirit truly is. The first story begins with Cole, a man who found freedom in running. The city park was his sanctuary, a place to clear his mind, escape stress, and feel weightless beneath the stars. He ran at night because it gave him silence, stillness, that strange kind of peace that only comes when the world is asleep. But one night, everything changed. As Cole ran past the dead oak tree he passed hundreds of times, he noticed something unusual. A figure, motionless, standing directly beneath the crooked branches. He slowed, confused. Maybe it was just a late-night walker. Maybe someone waiting for a ride. But something felt wrong. The air thickened. The wind stopped. His chest tightened in an instant, as if his soul recognized danger before his mind could catch up. The figure took a single step backward, not turning, not shifting its body, simply gliding into the shadows as though pulled by invisible strings. Cole froze. His instincts screamed to run. He didn't look back. And he never ran at night again. Years later, when a buried body was found near that very oak tree, Cole understood. What he saw wasn't a threat, it was a warning, something that had suffered, trying to protect someone else from the same fate. The second story follows a mother and her young daughter taking pictures at a large state park they visited every spring. It was supposed to be a day of laughter and memories, but it became something unforgettable in a very different way. As they stood by the riverbank, the little girl suddenly pointed and asked, "Mama, why is she crying?" The mother turned. No one was there. Confused, she brushed it off as imagination, but her daughter insisted. "She's right there. She's so sad." Later that night, while scrolling through her camera roll, the mother froze. In one of the photos, a faint figure, kneeling beside the river, just where her daughter had pointed. A ranger later revealed that many years ago, someone had drowned there. People had reported hearing sobbing around dusk. The sound carried softly across the water. The mother still doesn't know what her daughter saw. But she knows this. There are mysteries we aren't meant to understand. And sometimes children sense the things adults have learned to ignore. The third story takes us into a forest park where 2 friends set up camp for a much-needed weekend getaway. They wanted adventure, disconnect, fresh air. Instead, they found fear. Around midnight, they woke to footsteps around the tent, slow, deliberate, pacing back and forth, as if something or someone was studying them. They whispered to each other in the dark, hands trembling, hearts racing, but neither dared unzip the tent. The footsteps went on for hours, circling, pausing, circling again. When morning came, sunlight offered no comfort. The prints outside the tent weren't from boots or shoes, they were barefoot. A ranger later told them hikers had reported a man wandering the woods for months, unregistered, appearing and disappearing in strange places. Some believed he was mentally lost, living in the wild. Others believed he had died long ago and the forest refused to let go of him. But the friends knew this. Danger does not always roar. Sometimes it walks quietly in circles, waiting for the brave to greet the morning. From these stories, 8 powerful keynotes emerge, lessons, carved from terror but drenched in meaning. They remind us that fear is not only a threat, it is a teacher, a mirror, a compass guiding us toward wisdom, strength, and resilience. The first keynote rises from Cole's experience. Your instincts are a warning system. Trust them the first time. Instincts are older than language, older than logic, older than fear itself. They are the whispers of generations that survived storms and predators, passed down to us through blood. Cole didn't have evidence that the figure under the oak tree was dangerous. He didn't have data or proof. But his heart felt a sudden, sharp pull. His breath changed. The hairs on his arms lifted as if an unseen hand brushed against them. Modern life teaches us to question these sensations, to analyze, to rationalize, to silence the quiet voice within us that says stop. Don't go there. Don't trust that. Something isn't right. Think about the moments in your own life when something felt off, a stranger whose smile didn't reach their eyes, a road that made your soul uneasy, a situation where you couldn't explain the discomfort but felt it like pressure in your ribs. How many times did you ignore that voice? How many times did you later whisper to yourself, I knew it? Cole's instincts saved him that night. He didn't need to understand the figure to respect the warning. Your intuition is not fear, it is wisdom disguised as fear. Trust it, it might just save your life. Sometimes what we fear is actually what shields us. In another park, a woman once got lost during a hike. The third keynote emerges from the little girl who saw the crying woman by the river. Children see truth with unfiltered eyes. Their hearts haven't been hardened by doubt. Their minds haven't been shaped by fear of judgment. A child may sense sadness in a room, or joy, or danger, long before an adult does. Innocence is a powerful lens, and sometimes it reveals the parts of the world we've forgotten how to look at. The fourth keynote teaches that the calmest places can hold the darkest histories. And perhaps that contrast is what makes life so hauntingly fragile. The fifth keynote echoes through the forest with the two campers. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to keep going anyway. Courage is waking up after a night of terror and still stepping outside the tent. Courage is trembling but moving. Courage is knowing something out there wanted to frighten you, and choosing to rise with morning light. Fear doesn't make you weak. It proves you are human. Continuing despite fear, that's what makes you strong. The sixth keynote tells us that the unknown doesn't always mean danger. Sometimes it teaches humility. A hiker once ran terrified from whispers echoing through the woods, only to later learn they were from an endangered species known for its ghost-like calls. The world is wider and stranger than we can ever imagine. Not all mysteries are threats. Some are simply nature reminding us how small we truly are. The seventh keynote shouts with fierce resilience, you are stronger than the things that try to break you. A woman once survived being stalked in a local park. The fear nearly shattered her, but when she healed, she transformed. She became her own protector. She found strength she didn't know existed. Pain often becomes the birthplace of power. Survival shapes warriors. The eighth keynote glows with soft light. Light is more powerful when discovered in darkness. A man lost during a nighttime storm in a mountain park held on to the smallest thread of prayer. And now, as the night settles around these stories, and your heart feels both heavy and strangely uplifted, remember this fear doesn't exist to suffocate you, it exists to awaken you, to sharpen your senses, to teach you where your strength lives, to remind you that life is fragile, breathtaking, worth protecting. May you walk with intuition, wrapped in wisdom, strengthened by faith. May every step you take through parks, forests, and through the shadowed places of life be guided by the one who sees what you cannot. Ya Allah, protect our journeys, guard our nights, place light before us, behind us, and all around us, and let no darkness touch our souls. Ameen.